Hello everyone, welcome to the NN Classroom. Today, I'd like to share with you a past paper question from 2019, Time Zone 1 in May. Question number 22, relating to topic 7, a physical chemistry topic that's said to be quite abstract to a lot of people. So that is the equilibrium. Let's see. Given the equilibrium constant Kc for this reaction, two of the nitrogen monoxide in equilibrium with the nitrogen gas and oxygen gas, it's 7.3 times 10 to the power 34. What is the new Kc for the equation below, assuming the same temperature? Same temperature implies that we should base on the same Kc value and do some modifications, right? And as you can see, the modification is that now we have flipped the equation upside down. That means right hand side now goes to the front, left hand side now goes to the back. And also the second treatment is that the whole equation now multiplied by half. That means times it by half, right? Let's see. Here is actually testing on a really important concept or fundamental concept relating to an issue when we modify the equilibrium constant based on some given situation. So that is something that some foundation first, that if given it is going to be a reaction in equilibrium from reactant to product, given this is going to be Kc, and if we change the coefficient, let's say I multiply the whole equation, the new Kc, I call it Kc prime, will be equals to the original Kc, but make a modification that the coefficient that we put is now being put in the index. So this is the first treatment, right? Yeah, is that if we multiply the whole equation, we don't just multiply to the Kc, but make those multiple to the index. So this is the first rule. Changing coefficient, put that coefficient back to the power. The second treatment is that if we flip the equation, now P becomes the reactant, R becomes the product, then this new Kc, I call it Kc prime, will then be equals to the original Kc but a reciprocal. Yeah, the reciprocal. That means the denominator and numerator flipped it. So that's why two different treatments. Yeah, that means if we change coefficient, we put that coefficient to the index. Secondly, if we change the position, flipping the equation, the Kc will then be needing to be reciprocal. Yeah, so this is the general rules that we need to bear this in mind. Something that totally different from what we apply to enthalpy change, because we do something similar to enthalpy change, but we don't do in this way. For enthalpy changes, just reminder that if we change coefficient, we just simply multiply the same coefficient. But if we flip the equation, we change the positive and negative nature for the delta H, right? But this is something not applied to Kc. So for equilibrium, we do apply these kind of rules, right? So with this perception in mind, that what we can understand that the first treatment is that, as just mentioned, right? We flip the equation, right? As you can tell, the N2 now brings to the front, the O2 now brings to the front, and then the N2O now brings to the back, right? So that means this Kc first need to be flipped in terms of making it into reciprocal, right? So we should expect this new Kc, I just call it Kc prime, which is equals to 1 over the original, so 7.3 times 10 to the power 34, right? So this is the first treatment according to what we know, which is going to be changing direction, reciprocal for the Kc. The second treatment is that the whole equation now actually being multiplied by half, right? Why half? Because as you can see, the coefficient is now dropped it into half, right? From 2 to 1, 2 to 1, 1 to half, right? So that means for the first treatment, as just mentioned, we are now multiplying the whole equation by 1 over 2. So that means this multiple is then put on the index. So that's why we put this onto the index, which is half, right? So that means the whole Kc value multiplied to the power of half, right? And just a basic maths, to the power of half means square root, right? And so that means this whole entire thing gets square root. Square root of 1, which is 1. So that's why finally the answer will then be 1 over the square root of 7.3 times 10 to the power 34. So that's the answer. So obviously the answer goes to B.